Hey, welcome to Live at 5. If you're new here, tell us where you're from. And you see there, if you're new and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. It's a great time to do it. We talk about boats, everything on the Great Loop. We just talk a lot about the water. So we're going to jump right into it. If you have a question there, you ought to be able to see the comments. Go ahead and post up your comments, and I'll start answering them as we get going here. So let's see. Like and share to your social media. If you're new to the channel, hit like and subscribe. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook, you can look up Good Times Adventures, and you'll find it on there. All right, today's show, we asked subscribers what were something they were concerned about on the Great Loop, and we're going to discuss that. Keep asking this question. I want to get this segment going. I think people might be a little nervous about coming on, but do you have a boat problem, engine problem, something like that we can help you fix? I'm assembling some mechanics and people with lots of knowledge, and you would come on. I send you a link. You'll be live on here with several of us, and we'll discuss problems. If you have something like that, shoot me an email at mike@michaeljsteen.com, and we're going to help you out, maybe solve one of your problems. Okay, a little new thing I'm going to do now each segment. This is kind of to make you go away a little smarter. You might know some of these, but we're going to go through nautical terms and then different things about boats to help you kind of understand. You'll obviously, a lot of it's basic, but for some people, you'll learn something. On board means on or in the boat. So if you are into boating and you're into doing the Great Loop, start using these terms. Like, for instance, when I'm going somewhere, people who know me, and if I say I'm going somewhere, I'll say I'm underway. I like to use that terminology so that whenever I naturally use it in the boating world. All right, aft is toward the stern or the back of the boat. To move to aft is to move back. All right, and amidship is the middle of the boat. You might say my engines are midship. So if you have a big boat, often they are midship, and otherwise it's in the aft of the boat. So just some terminology, help you out, maybe you feel like you're a little smarter when we leave today. Good Times restoration schedule. So we didn't make December 1 exactly what we wanted, but I'm going to show you some pictures coming up about what we did get completed. No, the engine's not in the boat running. The gas tank is removed. I'm going to show you some pictures of that. The new one is at the shop being built. So engine compartment has started on the cleaning. I'll explain that in a minute. There's more stuff I'm going to do, I realized. And engine upgrades such as macerator pumps, batteries, hoses, wiring, and a new external fuel tank. I wished I'd have had time to get on this week, but I'll get it on next week. I'm planning on doing, obviously I'm going to put back the regular gas tank, but I'm planning on adding an extra fuel tank. I'm going to kind of take pictures, sketch it out, and show y'all, and just get any feedback, because oftentimes there's a lot of smart people on here that follow, and they'll say things that I've not even thought about. So that'll probably be for next week. I'm going to do a mock-up of what I'm calling the saddle tank, and I'll have it in position out of cardboard. I'll take some pictures, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So stand by for that. January 1 deadline is December the 1st, and to have it running. We're going to work hard on making it. We'll keep you updated. Let's see. All right. Here's some pictures just as far as stuff I'm working on. You see the old engines on the lift, mostly stripped off, and there's the new block sitting there. Got the oil pan on it. I had a heck of a time finding the right harmonic balancer. I'm going to have all that worked out by the time the video comes out with Amazon links where you won't make a mistake. I ran through a few mistakes on Amazon from what it said it was to what it actually fit two different things. I'll have all that straightened out and you won't have to worry about it. Here's a picture of the flywheel. You see on the right, I got this cool little small, it's not much bigger than this, sandblaster. And you can take like the old flywheel there, sandblast it, and it's small. It's from Harbor Freight. I don't know, maybe like $39 or something. It's really cool. You can sandblast rusted parts and then paint them. That's what you see on the right. On the left, as you see, there's a ton of parts. Just off screen to the right is a bunch of boxes, but a few new items there. Got a lot going on in the shop. Okay, the picture on your right is the fuel tank is out. You don't see the fuel tank. Wish I'd have took a picture of it over at the shop, but you'll see all of it in the video. This thing was much easier than some of the videos I've seen. If y'all remember there in the back, where the deck is, that crackhead that owned it put a gas tank in the back there, external gas tank just sitting there. It took me longer to get that one out because I had to drain it than it did cutting out the floor tank. I'm excited to show that video because there's so many people that are doing crazy stuff with bayliners because there's a leak in their tank and they just don't realize how easy this is. So I'm going to show you. That's the engine compartment there. You noticed on your left how clean I'm started cleaning it. Looks like it's going to take 2 or 3 cleans, and then I'm going to paint it. But when I found out to the right there, let's see, yeah, to the right, I found I didn't plan for, or I thought of, but I didn't buy it, was like new maciator pumps and stuff like that. It was kind of tucked up there in the back, so it was kind of, you couldn't see it unless you were down in the compartment. So I had to order that, but I got it in. But all of that's going to be replaced. Everything on this boat is basically going to be new. So good times right there. All right, today, it seemed like there were some other pictures, but we're going to discuss doing the Great Loop. I asked subscribers, some of you may have saw it in a little short I put out, what was their biggest concerns about doing the Great Loop, and here's some feedback from them. I have the boat that suits me, and this is from Charles Finder, but one concern is I'd probably be solo. Hey, been there, done that. Don't worry about that. And the problem of locking and handling the boat from the fly bridge is a major concern. The big concern is financial. I'm sure everybody has that. And I know that you could be on the hook at least half of the time, but between that and half of the fuel costs, I'm afraid of being retired on a fixed income would be a deal breaker. A lot there. Let's try to unpack it, as they say. So first we'll talk about the locks. People worry about locks, and there's not that much to worry about. I've got videos on my channel that you can go to. Matter of fact, I will put a link in for the people that are watching this in the replay. I'll put a link in the comment to a lock that I locked through solo. People worry about that, and it's just not that big of a deal. Let me preference that by saying if you're in a really big boat and you're by yourself, yeah, it might be a little bit of a challenge, but there's ways to work around that. Obviously, whenever I get on the Erie Canal, you're going to see me lock through so many locks by myself that it's ridiculous. I hope to put you at ease for those that are concerned about this, and a lot of people are, and see that it's just not that big of a deal. Let's see. All right, let's freeze there for a second. Okay, I want to start popping these up. I'm working solo today and doing both of these. All right, let's see. Another thing there would be fuel costs. Well, let's talk about the fuel cost. There's a lot of stuff on the internet about what it is, and it can be done a lot cheaper. But as a general rule, people will say 30 to 40,000 for everything to do the loop. But there is a lot of things that you can do differently. And y'all know back on the last loop, we had people help us called fuel buddies. We had where we would go. Of course, I had my truck a lot of the time. I'm not going to do that this time, but I would go fill up at gas stations, saving a ton of money. The staying on the hook is the best way to save money. And I personally don't like to be in marinas. I will, what my plan is during the week, unless there's a major blow coming, I'll move Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I want to be toward a marina, at least where I can get out and go ashore, go meet people, go explore the area. But you can save a ton of money by not going to these expensive marinas. All right. So we'll talk about fuel costs as I'm going through the loop. I'm going to break more of that down for you. So I hope that'll put you at ease. Now, what a lot of people did, and I'm doing it not out of, like, I didn't mean to do it because I got sick. For those that don't know, I had a big boat, was planning to start back last year, got sick, had to wait, had to sell my boat, didn't know what was going to happen, got me healing from God, and now I'm back at it. I did intentionally get a smaller boat so that it'll be better on fuel, so I can trailer it and start over, and so it will go faster. But also showing you don't have to have a big, huge boat. There's different ways of paying for it. All right, Nick Wills, that's my son-in-law there. Okay, so let's see. All right, back to the fuel cost. You can do sections of the loop. You don't have to do it all at one time. Now, obviously, when you come out Mobile or you go heading south, depends on where you are as to where you're going to start, but you could spend a lot of time down in Florida, probably the whole year you could spend in Florida. So depending on, you could leave the boat down there, and the only really time constriction is to be up in the northern waters during the summer because the locks close down in the winter. So there's some issues there. Okay, this is an ongoing question. We'll answer it more and more as we go on. All right, appreciate that, Charles Randolph. Picking the right boat, reliable, efficient, comfortable for the lady friend, shallow enough to gunk hole and beach fast enough to beat the weather and make headway in fast current. Hold enough resale value after pumping, putting loop hours on, and most importantly, available. There's a lot there. So if there's two of you doing it, the boat I had 32, anywhere the 32 to 40, depending on what you're doing. The closer you get into 40s, you get into the diesels. Of course, they get into higher cost, but yet your fuel economy is better. That's one where I've showed you. I was on a 32 by myself. I'm going to be on basically a 25 this time. I'll show you the difference. A 25 is too small. If you got, the wife coming along, she needs to be comfortable. So that is a very particular thing about what your scenario is. I'm hoping to show a lot of people, male or female, that you can do this loop solo very easily. It's easier than you think. And the excitement and all that you're going to see, I just can't tell you enough how good it is. All right. So we'll talk more about boats. That's an ongoing subject as well. Let's see. European mapping. I'm most concerned about finishing the northern section before winter hits. So depending on, let's call it New York City, as far as waters freezing over and coming south out of the Great Lakes. Those northern sections of the loop, you have 4 months to do. That's more than enough time. I mean, that is more than enough time. Running at 8, that's more than enough time. So if you're concerned about it, okay, I would basically, if you were super concerned, depending on your size of boat and where you were starting, if you start at the Erie Canal, thereabouts, you're about as far north as you're going to need to get, and just do that section and then turn south. So that's probably not a major deal getting it all in before winter hits. So that's my opinion. We all got them. All right. The next is we traveled to Mississippi from Minneapolis, Lock 2, St. Louis, Lock 25, about 600 miles. The biggest challenge was planning stop at marinas. Pleasure boats are at the bottom of the list for locks. That's true. So if you could find yourself waiting a long time, we had one wait at 6 hours. We were traveling 10 miles per hour. You can't make up 6 hours wait in one day. I was not comfortable anchoring in a river. The other concern was fuel availability on the Illinois. There were sections of fuel that previous boat, Carver 38 aft cabin with twin 350s, 280-gallon fuel capacity, would have had a hard time making. Fortunately, this boat holds 700 gallons of diesel. Sounds like a boat that size, you don't have to worry about fuel anymore. I have to worry about fuel in Good Times 2.0. You're going to see me managing it. That's why I'm upsizing the current fuel tank that's in the bottom and putting on a saddle tank, as well as 25 gallons of fuel cans, as y'all know I always carry. And I'm going through that same 250-mile section where I got to make it. But there's ways around it, and I'm going to show you. For instance, on that section, if you look on like maps, Google Maps, there's a pretty good boat ramp about halfway with a gas station like a block away. If you had to, that's why I'm like running gas. I can jerry can fuel, to put on, say, another 50 gallons, and I'm okay. Now, I'm very interested to see what Good Times 2.0 with a now 350 was a 305. I upgraded to a 350. I'm interested in seeing what the fuel economy is. By all indications of all the research, about 2 gallons is what you're going to get. So we'll see. I don't know that for sure. I'm excited about getting out, running the test. I meant to turn that down a minute ago. I'm excited about getting out and running the test to see just how far. As a general rule, 350 engines on the bigger boats, 1 mile per gallon. That's what I was getting. If I get 2 and I get up to 100-gallon capacity, that's near about 200 gallons. With my 5, that's without stopping halfway. And I got a cool thing coming. I have not seen this yet on any boat, but you'll see it coming on Good Times. Since I'll have solar on the roof and all the batteries, I'm going to have electric motor hooked to the swim platform. And when I'm heading downriver, downstream in those sections, that's my backup. A lot of people said, are you going to have a backup motor? Because those bayliners actually have a built-in kicker holder for a small motor, but I don't want a gas motor. I'm going to go with electric. Y'all will see it. I'm probably going to be about the first one that I've ever seen, but it's going to A, be my backup, and B, when you're running south with the water, it should work out pretty good. I imagine if you're in a 2 to 3, 4 mile per hour flow and you kick that, I got a feeling it's going to run you 3 to 4. You'll be up basically like we're getting what I used to get with my old the Carver. So let's see. All right. Let's see. And then fuel cost, always a concern. Everybody's situation is a little different. I'll tell you, depends on how committed you are. There's everything from selling your house, buying a boat, doing the loop, like selling your house in a high economy, buying a boat, doing the loop, selling that when the economy drops on the housing, buy back in. There's all kind of options for that. If it's a lifelong dream like it is for me, take out a loan if you had to. That's why I work hard on YouTube. I get a little support here. And if you're committed, you'll come up with a way for doing this, okay? Let me say, Mud Club, this is something with my new subscribers. They don't know about it. I'll start back selling Mud Clubs in January. It's $69 a year. You get first look at videos, Mud Club only live streams in January. Good Times live tracking. You'll be able to follow me live the whole way. Content for Mud Club only. Let's see. First to know about all major events, meetups, stops, etc., etc. 10% off merchandise on my website, and then you'll be supporting a lifelong dream. Um, you noticed, or maybe y'all seen that little Mud Club sneak peek. My Mud Club people knew about it well before anybody else, as far as the engine dropping through the boat. So it's a pretty cool deal, and it's how I help fund my way. Okay, here's another one, another question, and let's take a look here. Let's see. Couple double B. Hello from Sunny Slopes, Arizona. All right. Lexington, South Carolina. Jose, been there. You know, that's where I was born and raised. Oh, cool. Okay, Jeffrey, good to deal. He was thanks for making that video on the new carb on a halftime. Problem has been replaced. Carb $28. That's right. Not good deal for sure. Nick's waving. Kayak, what's happening, buddy? Kayak 7Cs, long follower of the channel. All right. And Jonathan from Williston, Florida. Yep, used to hunt up that way, Jonathan. Okay. Mike, been following your trip since Marty set out. Plan on doing at least half the Great Loop, Pittsburgh to the Keys in the next 5 to 10 years. I just bought a boat I think might be a good fit for the trip, but I want a couple of summers with her under my belt to get to know her first. So far, biggest concern are taking a break in my career, my own knowledge, secure anchoring in my boat's fuel range. Of course, money. All superb questions, and keep following the channel. You're going to get lots of answers to them. Tell people about it. We need more subscribers. Doing it, definitely you want to know your boat. Definitely you want to know your boat. Jumping out on the Great Loop is not a good time to learn your boat. But a summer or two under your boat or driving your boat, you should have enough knowledge under your belt that you shouldn't have any problem. Now, 5 to 10 years. Bro, if I know anything, and it is this, you don't have forever. You can be planning like I was, start the loop and get going and get sick and just about die. All I'm telling y'all is if you're planning to do this, do it sooner than later. You won't ever, listen to what I'm telling you, you won't ever have everything perfect. Just go. Go do a section. Just go. If you do a 500-mile section, just go. Things can change, and then you never get the opportunity. I done seen it too many times. It almost happened to me. Okay, Captain Crunch, not sure wife she's concerned about the locks. After a couple, I'm sure it'll be no big deal. That's exactly right, Captain Crunch. We talked about that earlier. People are always concerned about that, and to be honest with you, it's not that big of a deal. Once you do a couple of them, you'll feel like a master. That brings up a point that I'm always encouraging people. Whether you plan on growing a big YouTube channel or not, I strongly suggest you start a YouTube channel. Let me tell you why. You will get followers. You will find people, even if you know nothing about it. Some people like to watch to see the accidents, and I like to show the accidents. I won't hide that from you. But you know what's superb about videoing your Great Loop is in 5 years when you look back on it and you can see what you've done. It's an amazing journal, of videography journal of what you did. And I'm telling you, you'll get followers. A lot of people, and there's something about having a YouTube channel that when you're out in videoing, it doesn't feel like you're by yourself. You got your subscribers. Y'all know I'm going to try to live stream as much as possible. I had people followed along every day, and they knew just what was happening, and that's pretty fun. So I strongly encourage that, and I'm going to let y'all know we're going to do. It's going to be free. Starting a YouTube channel on this software on the back end, I can have up to 10 people that can come on here and I can show you a lot of stuff about editing, the basics of uploading and stuff like that, you'll be surprised how easy it is. Sean says taking a year off to do it. Sean, all I can tell you on that is if you're committed, don't wait till you're retired. Make a plan with your boss that maybe one summer you're going to take 3 months off, or a period of time off or long. I've seen people do 2 weeks and do sections of that at a time. I'd say do it. You'll be amazed at how many stories you have to tell back at work. If you have a YouTube channel, people are going to follow along with you. I'm just saying it's a great deal. So do it as soon as you can do it. That's my best advice on that. All right, time for y'all to drop me some questions, and I'm gonna go a little shorter today than normal. I got a dinner with the family after a while. Y'all shoot me up any questions that you might have right now, and let me answer those. And we're not gonna go too long. If you have a question, pop it up there about the Great Loop. So for those that are new, I start back on the Great Loop in April 1st. That's what my goal is. If I don't have everything perfect, I'll start back April the 1st. That's why you notice on my timeline of things, the things that don't have to be done will be at the end. But I'm starting on April the 1st, Lord willing, that I don't have any medical ailments that, hold me up from that. But that is it. Let's see. All right. Not seeing many comments there. Let's see. Let's go back to, if you're new and you've not subscribed to the channel, now's a great time on a lull to do that. And hit that thumbs up. Y'all, we're coming down to the end. We're landing the airplane. Hit that thumbs up. That'll help out. And then here's the thing I'm going to ask you of my solid followers. Most of you are on here now. If you have friends that are interested in the loop, how about mention me, share my channel? Let's get some numbers up. It's going to help me out in the long run. It's going to help y'all out. Let's see here. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Watching from Illinois. Let's see. Jonathan Bishop, are you going to do a meetup in Florida before you leave? Jonathan, I hadn't actually thought about that. Sounds like a good idea. I guess it would that's a good idea. I guess it would kind of be deciding upon where we would do it. My first thoughts would be Tampa Bay. I take the boat over there, good times, give people a chance to meet up there. That's a pretty good thought. I hadn't really thought a lot about it. I'll try to put some more thought into that. And like I said, we'll probably do Little Harbor is one of my favorite places there in Ruskin. It's about halfway up the bay. If you're new to the channel, but that's where I started my trip out. So that's a good question. Keep bringing that up. And tell you what, Jonathan, if you'd like, shoot an email. Let me just tag that up real quick. Shoot me an email, mike@michaeljsteen.com. And we shall talk more about that. We'll have to see where the interest is, but I'm thinking Tampa Bay would probably be a good place for that. They got a nice restaurant there right on the water marina where the boat can come up. So that might be very good idea. Ryan's looks like he's escaping the weather up north, coming down at the end of the month. I got a buddy of mine that's supposed to be coming down in January. It might end up being February because I need a boat running. We're going to do a little bit of fishing. He gets to where it's too cold and you can't fish up there. So we'll talk about that. But sounds good, Ryan. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. If you don't have any major questions, we're going to see you next week. I'm working on, couldn't get him this week, but I'm working on a guy He is the single most knowledgeable person about boating, certainly on the east coast of Florida and the interior. I'm going to get him on. If I can get him booked up, I'll let you know in advance. But if you got questions, I used to call that dude. Like I'd be coming into an area and I'd say, Richard, hey, we're going to be in so-and-so. Where do you think we can, good anchorage? And he'd right off the top of his head start popping off places for anchors. So I'm going to try to get him on here as a regular and also as a special guest. So guys, hope y'all have a great week. I appreciate y'all following along. We're going to wrap it up next time.